Why, hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you may be dialing in from. My name is Narelle, and I'll be taking you through a few of the different rail journeys that we have on offer at Railbookers and Amtrak Vacations. I'm actually dialing in from my home office up here in the Northern Beaches in Sydney. So I'm very curious to know where a lot of you are also dialing in from. But thank you for joining me. Now, before we get started, if you have a pen and paper handy, please take note of our reservations telephone number at the bottom of the screen and also the website. So you can have a little peruse after this, jump onto the website and start dreaming about your next vacation. Of course, we need the planes to be flying again in order for us to be able to book any of these, but that should happen hopefully sooner than later. Now, don't forget to download also your customizable flyers and also all the other little helpful handouts there. So they're the two different ones that we have there that you can easily download. If you have any questions, however, throughout this presentation, please put them in that little question box. That's the little one just down there below. You'll see ask questions at any time. Pop them in there and I'll provide you answers at the end of the presentation. So before we do kick off and start dreaming about Europe and North America, who are we? Well, Yankee Holidays was our first brand established 47 years ago, so back in 1972. In 2007, Yankee Leisure Group was formed and we were managing multiple brands. We really invested in the rail sector and very soon you'll find out why. Now today we have two distinct brands in Australia. We have the Amtrak Vacations and we have the Railbookers. Now we are also Via Rail Vacations also, and we do have a brochure for that as well. We'll have a look at the brochures on the next page. So we've got the Railbookers and we've got the Via Rail Vacations and we've also got the Amtrak Vacations. So if you don't have your hands on a brochure yet, please call our reservations line and the consultants will be more than happy to get your free copy in the post to you. As I mentioned before, we really invest in the rail sector, and this is the golden era of travel. People want to travel by train. We need to travel by train to get from A to B, whether it be pre-post cruise, whether it be visiting friends and family. City to city is something that everybody is really looking for. So why travellers love Railbookers? Well, here when we opened our office in Australia in August 2018, we were able to take your payment in Australian dollars. With that, we can also book 24 months in advance. So you can pre-plan all of this, book far out in advance and get the best price available and all the availability that our hotel will that our hotels have to offer. We have a very flexible booking policy and I'll be taking you through that soon. Our average hold time is only 3 seconds to speak to a consultant. And these aren't just consultants, these are train experts. The team know every single rail network in Europe and how to connect them all. We can also cater for a lot of the bucket list experiences. The best thing about the train is the freedom and flexibility. If you don't want to catch the train at 7:30, there could be another one at 9 o'clock that we can put you on. So you can choose with your freedom and flexibility in what time you want to get up or what time you may want to arrive in your destination. I don't know about you, but the clouds are the same no matter where you are in the world. So the best way to travel is by train because of the scenic way. We'll have a look at some of the seatings in America and also Europe in some of these slides as well. And also you can get up. You can get up. It's room to roam. You can get up, stretch your legs, walk around. Best of all, we can customize any itinerary. If you want to spend a certain amount of nights in a place, or if you want to just pass through on the train and then spend more time in another destination, we can customize any itineraries. So when you're looking back at that brochure that I mentioned before to go ahead and order, they are suggested itineraries. That's what we're finding are popular, but we can change that, tweak that in any way you need. And the best thing is everyday departures. We have 24-hour support from our global offices as well. So we're here, Sydney, Australia, this is the office I work out of. We've got Beverly, Massachusetts, which is our main hub for Amtrak Vacations. We have London, UK, our main hub for Railbookers. So you do have round-the-clock support. We also have Toronto, Canada, and also Laguna Hills in California. I mentioned before our flexible booking policy, so I will take you through this. With YLG and Railbookers and Amtrak Vacations, we are the independent rail vacations worldwide. Now, we do give all of you maximum flexibility so that you can choose where, what, when, and how long you want to travel. Anywhere the train goes, we can get you there too. An example is if you no longer want to travel to Italy, but you've got this flexible booking policy in place, then we can put you to France, perhaps. So it's as long as it's fully transferable across all of our brands. So do you see all of these colours? These colourful lines each represent a different high-speed rail line in Europe, and none of them talk to each other. But as we are the expert operators, we know exactly where the trains go and the best routes to recommend. And we can also access the schedules and fares further out than anyone else. Now, if you remember from before, 24 months in advance. None of these systems talk to each other, but ours do. We've also got the Via Rail Vacations, and these are all different train lines as well. And believe it or not, coast to coast is also very popular when it comes to Canada, as well as the Rocky Mountains. If you can't do the Rocky Mountaineer for maybe availability or budget, Via Rail have also got a fantastic product on that as well. So we work directly with all of the rail networks around the world. Mainly Europe is what we're really good at, and also North America. So what do we offer? We pretty much, the best way to look at us is we are one-stop shopping, shop booking experience. It is an easy way for you to let us know what you want to do, where you want to see, and we'll be able to put all of that into an itinerary for you. Like any vacation package you have booked in the past, our packages do include anything from the rail, transportation, hotel accommodation, sightseeing, transfers, and more. So when you're looking at another benefit of booking through Railbookers, you can also purchase skip the lines and save yourself some time. We know that time is very important when traveling, and the last thing any of us want to be doing is lining up for 3 hours waiting to get into the Vatican, for example. Well, we can also ensure that you are put into the skip the line itineraries or tours, and then that will save you a lot of time. Now, before we do go into some of these itineraries, let's have a look at what life on board Europe, on board or the rail in Europe may look like. Many European trains are similar. You can see there with the seating configuration 2-2 in most cases, or 2 and 1. They generally do have a standard and first class. Now, standard class is in a 2-2 configuration, and they've also got outlets at the seat, which is very important now. First class provides a lot more legroom, and it is a 2-in-1 configuration. So that actually provides a much quieter experience, as there are fewer people in the car. You'll also find that the majority of people who are in first class are tourists and travelers like ourselves. And the coach class is for the main commuters. Now, one question we get asked a lot is luggage. So the luggage can usually be stored above the seats, very similar to an airplane. But as we are traveling a fair distance from Australia, there is more room at the end of the car in luggage racks. So there are actually no luggage restrictions on most of the trains. However, you will find luggage restrictions on the aircraft when you are flying home. So I know we all love to shop, but be mindful of that. Now, many of the trains also include a cafe car where snacks and light meals and beverages can also be purchased on board. Or you can also get yourself maybe a baguette, bit of cheese, bit of ham, and then you can set yourself up with a little picnic lunch whilst on board. Now, train stations in Europe have English translations, and so it's very easy to navigate. And also, you're saving yourself so much time. It's city centre to city centre. We've also got on offer a lot of the luxury trail. Now, these are the bucket list itineraries. These are the bucket list trains, the experiences there, the Golden Eagle, the Gun, the Venice Simplon Orient Express. Look at that. That is the golden era of travel. Absolutely beautiful. The Via Rail Prestige class down down in the bottom middle there, as well as the Rocky Mountaineer Gold Leaf class, and also the beautiful blue train. So what do these numbers represent? Well, I'll tell you, 1,995, that's the number of European rail routes. 35,846, can you have a guess? That's how many train stations there are in Europe. So this is another reason why to call our consultants, because they can maneuver their way through every single one of these. It will sure save you time in trying to piece all of that together. And I've mentioned our consultants a few times, and that is, we know because we go. Every year we actually experience different train journeys around the world, and we all share our experiences with each other. So we learn from each other, and we also get to experience it ourselves. And this is why when you're calling us, we really are the experts in rail travel. And these are some of the staff from around the globe. We've got some people represented in these photos from Sydney office, Toronto office, Boston, and also Laguna. And also there's a couple of people from our London office in some of those photos as well. Here is one of the recommended itineraries that I was talking about that you'll be able to find in the in the brochures and also on our website. This is a very popular, and you can see why. See, this is just the scenery that you just can't miss out on when you're in Europe. I also mentioned that we can fully customize a lot of these holidays. So what does that actually mean? Well, we've got the suggested itineraries, but you don't need to stick to those. We can actually add Paris, or we could do a London to Paris, Paris to Barcelona, or Paris up to Amsterdam. Wherever you wish to go, we can do that for you. Now, if we do combine these itineraries, it looks as though you're going to be spending 6 nights in Paris. Not at all. We can cut that down to 2 nights in Paris. We can have even 5 nights in Paris, 4 nights in Paris. That is what it means to customize a holiday. You tell us where you want to go, how long for, and we'll be able to put that together for you. Spain is also a super popular journey by train, just like Switzerland is as well. But Spain, just the scenery on the land, and also just the flexibility in going city to city and not wasting too much time at airports and doing a lot of air travel there. And let's not forget, you can take your luggage on board these trains with you, and there's plenty of luggage storage. So there's so many different itineraries that we can offer in Spain. Remember, if the train goes there, we do too. I mentioned Via Rail Vacations, and I said that coast to coast is very popular. And that is mainly a lot of people want to actually do the overnight rail experience. So Via Rail can offer that for you. So we can start in Vancouver going up to Jasper and into Banff. So that's the same route that the Rocky Mountaineer does. Now what you can do is then catch the Rocky Mountaineer there, and then you can do a Via Rail back. That's fine. Or we can either tack this on to a Rocky Mountaineer or to a Via Rail in Jasper and Banff and get you straight out there to the east coast of Canada. Heading on down to Niagara Falls once you've hit Toronto, Montreal, Quebec City, and ending in Halifax. Very popular itinerary that, and that is 3 nights on board Via Rail. And you really get to see the diversity of Canada. It's a really good destination as well for any repeat visitors to Canada. A lot of people may do the Rocky Mountains first and then venture on out to the east coast. But there's the beautiful Peggy's Cove there in Halifax. And of course, Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. We're back into Europe again, where we can easily do a London, Paris, and Bordeaux. That sounds pretty good to me. There's no overnight train journeys on this one, but it's really 2 nights in each accommodation. We can also do 3 nights Paris, 4 nights Paris. We can just add that on. We can connect it to the next train out then to Bordeaux. We can put together any sightseeing activities that you wish to take. I think this picture is pretty self-explanatory. Why take the train? Now, I actually come from a motor coach background, and I was once a tour guide, hence why I do a lot of talking. And the photo that you see on the left is so true as to what you can be experiencing in another way on land. Instead of flying, you can either do the train or you can do a motor coach. Well, I know for sure I would much prefer to choose the option on the right-hand side with that beautiful glass of red and a beautiful meal and also the scenery. And it's just so much more spacious. The difference is on the left, it's a group tour, we're a tour guide. Whereas we don't do group tours, we don't have tour guides, we do fully independent travel. One thing we are very good at, and that is North America. And the reason why is we are the national operator for Amtrak Vacations. Now, Amtrak Vacations, or Amtrak, sorry, has over 500 stations in the US, and we can book you to get on and off at any one of those stations. Now, looking at all the different coloured lines there, we're going to look at a few of the different trains. Each train does offer something different and unique, so depending on which route you're going. So Chicago is the main hub, so that's why you'll see a lot of the lines do connect into Chicago. But you can go from San Francisco over to Chicago on the Californian Zephyr. You can also do the Portland over to Chicago, visiting some of the national parks there as well on the Empire Builder. So these are all the different trains. So why do we love Amtrak Vacations? Well, it is an American company, but in Australia, if you get the quote in AUD, we can book it in AUD. So Australian dollars, it sure is much better than trying to fight with those exchange rates. It is stress-free FIT travel as well. We do over 50 destinations and remembering over 500 different stations. Rail connections into the national parks. Now, this is so key. It's the best way to get into the national parks in America. We've also got a lot of allotment held in some of these national parks where you can have the best accommodation. We can also do a lot of pre-post cruise packages. That's not just for North America, that can also be for Europe as well. And just like Europe, we customize any package. I did mention the rail connections into the US national parks. This is very, very popular for Australians and New Zealanders to travel to. This is bucket list destination, and the trains take us right in there. The Great American Majestic Landscape. So I'm just going to explain here, and sorry that the screen has gone just a little bit funky, but that's okay. San Francisco over to New York City. Now see where the little red arrows are with one? That's how many nights on board the train you will be. And don't worry, I'll talk about some of those accommodations on board the train soon. The good thing about this itinerary is San Francisco is a gateway out of Australia, so you can fly directly in. So this is the Californian Zephyr, one of those train lines that I showed you before. We can always experience beautiful Chicago, which is personally my favorite city in America, and then followed by obviously New York City as well. Two fantastic places, and we can get you there by train. Here's another suggested itinerary of the Great American Majestic Landscapes from San Francisco. Jazz, blues and rock and roll is a fantastic itinerary for any music lovers. So it goes from Chicago down to New Orleans, and it has one night on the train. So that's a nice little mix, and just to have a little onboard experience. The photos here are of New Orleans at night, fantastic architecture, and also just the streets just buzzing with happiness. So jazz, blues and rock and roll, very, very good itinerary here. We can customize for Europe as well as North America in any of the hotel accommodations that will suit your needs. So it all depends on the budget and the kind of hotel accommodations that you like. Now remember, the further out you book or further out you try and get this quote, then the more chance you have at getting the hotel of your choice. Now we do 3, 4 and 5-star options. We can also include it with breakfast if you like, and usually there's not much difference actually there if there is breakfast included. Packing for the train is something that we are asked a lot about also in North America and on the Amtrak Vacations product. You are allowed 2 free carry-on bags and 2 checked-in bags. And you only need to check in 45 minutes to departure, which again is also so different than going through American security when you are flying. So the coach cars, I guess, and it's also, well, they call it the accommodations, but as you can see, there is a lot of stretch out leg room there. There's quite a bit of space between the seats. They are comfortable and economical. Coach class does offer large reclining seats, and with the fold out tray tables, overhead reading lights, and also the overhead up there is your luggage, plus large panoramic windows, and you can actually lean back and enjoy the view. However, if you are doing an overnight train, just for a little bit more, there really wouldn't be too much of a price increase, is we would recommend a sleeping car. There's two different types of sleeping car. There's a sleeper roomette and there's also a sleeper bedroom. So our sleeping car accommodations provide long distance travellers with all of the roomette, bedroom, or even a bedroom suite. The biggest difference here is the roomette folds into two bunk beds on top of each other. So that can accommodate two adults and it has the capacity for two small tote bags. Now, the restrooms and the showers are nearby and they are located on the upper and lower levels. Being in a roomette, it's only the roomette or the sleeper cabin people who have access to the shower facilities. They are not on offer for the standard class. Now, if you choose to splurge a little bit further and want a little bit more room, then there are bedrooms available as well. So the difference between that in the step up is it does still sleep the two adults and it has it has the two suitcases as well. But some of the bedrooms can be combined. But the biggest thing is it's got the in-room sink and vanity enclosed with a shower and toilet, and that's located on the upper level of the trains. So you can either have a roomette just to have a bed and lay down in and use the shared bathroom facilities on board, or you can do the bedroom and have your own. It really depends on what you're looking for and budgets. Now, the dining on the train as well is rather delicious food. You can choose from a variety. They're all chef prepared meals, including vegetarian, and there's also children's meals as well. We can also cater for any other types of meal requests, vegan, kosher. They could be ordered 72 hours in advance. The meals, however, are included with the purchase of a sleeping car accommodations ticket. So these are some more popular Amtrak vacations itineraries. So we've got the Washington, D.C., Glacier National Park, Northern Rail Experience, Rails to the Grand Canyon. We also do Los Angeles, San Diego, you name it. Where the train goes, we go there too. So just to have another look here, we can take your payment in AUD, which is very good with current exchange rates. We can book up to 24 months in advance. The most important thing about booking with us is we are rail experts. We know because we go. We have the direct rail partnerships worldwide, which then means that we are able to piece this out 24 months in advance. So whilst the planes may not be flying to the destinations right now, there's still no reason why we can't start to look and think about where we want to go next. I think we're all seeing life's a little too short, and I don't know about you, but I'm itching to get back on a plane and get over to Europe again as soon as absolutely possible. We do offer the freedom and flexibility. You tell us what you want to do and we can do that for you. We do have a number of awards and recognitions as well. We were in Australia 2019 winner of the Rail Operator of the Year at the Travel Awards. Now that's pretty good considering we had only been open for 1 year in Australia. So we're really seeing that the rail travel is so popular and a lot of people need to piece these itineraries far in advance. Now I've got to ask you all, which destinations are you currently interested in? I can see a few answers coming through. Boston, yes, absolutely. Look, Boston is a very, very popular train journey. Generally, a lot of people would go from either Chicago or mainly out of New York for Boston. Yes, Paris, of course. Oh, for a 50th wedding anniversary. Wow, fantastic. Okay. Keep popping those in and I'll have a good look at those later. So how to book? Well, you can call us. The numbers are down below. Have a look at our website, or you can also speak to your local travel agent. Support those local businesses. Our travel agents are experts in this field as well, and we work with every single travel agent. And visit our website. It's only a 3-second hold time to get through to the consultants, and we can piece that together for you. So please go ahead, ask me any questions. Okay, I've got a question here as to, do you need to pay up front? Well, look, we do have the flexible booking policy, as I mentioned before, but really what we do 24 months in advance, we're not expecting you to pay up front for it. You can all you need is $250 deposit and the price is locked in there. And I'd recommend you do that because the prices can pretty much, as availability gets tighter, prices go up, and it's mainly the hotels that do that. So book it further in advance. You're generally looking at the best price available, and it only costs $250 deposit. And yes, we can move that booking if you need to change your dates at a later date. Do we do air? Actually, no, we don't. We're really good at focusing on the ground, on the rail network, and that's where we're going to keep our level of expertise. But you can see your travel agent. A lot of airlines, I'm sure, will have some good deals coming out. And also, there's a lot of people that are loyal. Some people want to use points. So the air is definitely a more personable choice, and it also depends what flight path you're looking at taking, which could also then determine which airline you use. So that's something that speak to your local travel agent about. Okay, well that looks as though they're the only 2 questions coming through, but thank you to everybody who has contributed. I'm just going to have another quick look here to see if there's any more that I may have missed. Okay, and then, yeah, and then it looks as though I might need to help a few of you with your handout. So I will be able to assist you with that very soon. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining me as well. And I wish you all the best. Stay safe. And I look forward to putting together a beautiful rail journey for you. Even if we can't travel next month, we will be able to travel again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.